It is Monday, August 5th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy. That is my man who is chock full of energy, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy, along for the ride as well. I hope everybody out there had an amazing sporting weekend, including my buddy. Did you?
I did. I kind of had like a little family weekend. We had a little staycation here, so I got to spend some quality time with Olivia and my two kids. Had a nice dinner last night with some friends, but watched a lot of ball, and there was a lot of good baseball being played uh, around the state. So yeah, I'm happy, man. It's getting to that point, Chris, where I know that you're gonna have your baseball fill because we got the pennant races and all these things coming down to it. And then you got football starting up. So here we go, buddy. It's go
It is
time.
it. Yeah, no, these are my three favorite months of the year because it's the intersections of my two world, which I love. August with preseason, September with the regular season kicking off, October we got playoff baseball, and we're in the middle of the NFL season. I love it. You will not ever hear me complaining about too much work because that is not a thing in my life. We start off with a little tip of the cap, even though I'm not wearing one because I did my hair so nicely after getting out of the shower, to Shota Imanaga. I mean, could this guy adore himself more to Cubs fans? He shows up to work on Friday with an extra cup of coffee for a Cubs fan photographer named Sam, who was so blown away by this. She couldn't believe it that he was like, here, I actually brought you one. So how sweet is this?
This is the stuff I always talk about, Chris. Like, how easy is it for you to just think about fans and do something special for him? It's no big deal to order an extra coffee and just to show a little bit of love to people that show you so
Mm-hmm.
much love just goes so far. And Shota's been that way, since the beginning. He's been an exceptional, not face of the franchise, but one of the faces of the Cubs franchise right now. He's done a great job with all that.
Yeah, I guess you could use the term ambassador. He really
Yeah,
is.
yeah, seriously. I mean, that's kind of what you are. Part of your job as a player is to represent the organization well. I mean, really, it's the first thing they talk about when you get drafted and you get to the big is, hey, like, you represent us. Like, you have to remember that in all the things that you do. And Shota's just crushed it.
Yeah, he's done a remarkable job. I wonder if the coffee said Mike and Mike 2 on it, because remember that story earlier in the
Yeah.
year that goes by Mike, I guess, when he gets his coffee? That's awesome. Let's move on to another pitcher who's been pretty darn special as of late. Blake Snell, he went somewhere he had never gone before as a major leaguer. That is the ninth inning, and once he arrived there, something special happened.
Pitch to De La Cruz. He hits a fly ball, right center. Yastrzemski has it! And Blake Snell has pitched the first no-hitter of his brilliant career.
They can't say it anymore, Complete game, shutout, no-hitter, leave me alone. He doesn't go to the ninth, doesn't go to the eighth. Y'all get that feels? Just did it, leave me alone.
Dude, he is unreal.
He's great. I love the attitude, and like, he does face a lot of criticism all the time. So like, if you're one of those people that's done that to Blake Snell and criticize his lack of ability to get deep into games, you got to let him have his moment when he throws a no hitter, right?
Of course you do. Well, yes, but let's not act like the criticism came out of nowhere. It's because he would go 4 1/3 innings and throw 103 pitches. So, I mean, a little bit of this is on him. I mean, I understand it. If that's what motivated him, great. But facts are facts. I mean, it's not like people were making this up. Like, he had gone into the ninth inning 7 times in his career. He just had never gotten there. And that is because of him.
A lot of it's because of him. Sometimes it was because of the organization that he was in prior with the Rays. Like, that's just kind of how they did things. So I think that it's a little bit of both. And I don't know. I think you have to learn how to be a pitcher that goes deep into games. And if you're part of an organization that doesn't necessarily like care about that, and they care more about swings and miss, like, that's what you're gonna get better at.
Hey, how would you describe his career?
Very successful. I mean, Cy Young in both leagues, no hitter under the belt. Like, I don't know another way to describe it. He's made a ton of money. I mean, hasn't won a World Series, but's pitched in a World Series, pitched exceptionally well in a World Series. I think the only way to describe it is successful. And like, he's been another guy who's like been great off the field as well. He's got his youth team. He's got his, Twitch channel that he interacts with fans on. Like, I think it's been a very successful career. I don't know if you can really say otherwise.
I think it is unlike any career I have ever seen. I think it is the strangest, really good career ever, right? I mean, this was his first win as a Giant in his 11th start. Now, it all hasn't been his fault because over the last month, he has been brilliant. But that was kind of a weird thing, but it kind of goes along with the career that he has had. He was top of the line in 18 and 23, where he won the Cy Young and the AL and the NL respectively. For those 4 years in between, he never reached 130 innings in a season. The best game any of us had ever seen him pitch prior to this weekend was in the World Series, and he couldn't get out of the 6th inning because the team didn't allow him to. This is really one of the strangest careers I have ever seen for an exceptionally talented pitcher.
Am I reading this wrong? He's got the all-time strikeout per 9 career mark right now with 11.1.
It can't be right. No.
I'm on his Savant page. It is italic and it is gold. And it says gold career totals indicate an all-time career record. Maybe for a starter. I don't know. I'm just reading his baseball reference page.
Well, can you go to Nolan Ryan? Dan says that is also correct. So are we saying that among starters, he has the highest strikeout per 9? Just go to Nolan Ryan. Just humor me for a second while we're here.
I'll go to it right now.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. But here's the thing about Snell as you're looking the numbers up. The guy looks like he could roll out of bed.
Yeah, his was 9.5.
That's remarkable. Okay. Amazing.
He only had 2 years over the 11 mark.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, it's because he did throw so many damn innings when they didn't really keep track of pitches.
By the way, over 200 games started for Blake Snell. He's got a 3.26 ERA. You can talk about the whip. You can talk about whatever you want, but the facts are he's got a 3.26 over 200 games started.
He's been. If you had to say, name me the 5 most talented starting pitchers in the league, he's in the discussion. There's no question about it. The way that he throws, what he has in his bag, it's phenomenal. To me, the thing that is also interesting about him is that he looks like he could roll out of bed and throw a no-hitter. And half the time I'm watching him, it does look like he's rolling out of bed because I don't know if he's been gaming till 3:30 in the morning or what he does. And there's times where he looks so locked in, and there are times where he looks like he's playing catch with his buddies in the backyard.
Well, I know Blake, and he doesn't partake in any like extracurricular stuff, no drinking, no other stuff. Like that's just who he is. $83 million already. He's got the $30 million player option.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's he's doing it right, man.
Hey, he's set himself up. Like if he doesn't get a 9-figure contract in the offseason, as long as he makes it through here healthy, something's wrong.
Are teams going to sign him the day after the World Series just to make sure he gets the spring training in?
Well, whenever he becomes eligible to be signed.
I guess, yeah, whenever he decides yes or no.
All right, let's move on. Aaron Judge, he's already signed and sealed, and he has been delivering. He was intentionally walked 3 more times on Sunday. That was a day after he received a free pass with the bases empty against Toronto. Juan Soto, your thoughts?
It sucks, and it just because you want him on the plate. Like I'm doing my best to put him up, and you see them pass him over. It's really, it makes me mad. I don't like that. I want them to challenge him, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. They try to win too, so you respect that.
Do you respect it?
I mean, it's a sign of respect to Aaron Judge. Do I like seeing it? No. Obviously, as a fan, you want to see Aaron Judge, being able to swing the bat, but it makes sense baseball-wise. If we're just talking about baseball strategy, you shouldn't really be pitching to Aaron Judge right now. The guy is on a different level. So now it's like, I guess it's up to the Yankees. What do you do? If this continues to be a thing, if they start just walking and say, hey, Wells, what are you going to do behind him? Do you have to move him in the order? Does it force your hand to say hit him leadoff? Does it force your hand to just move him to second, put Soto behind him? I don't know. I talked to Jake, told me that Aaron Boone's not about that life. Wants to keep Soto and Judge. He feels like that's the right recipe. But if this continues to be a thing, maybe he has to think about it. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I really don't. Like, again, as a fan, I want to see this guy go do his work, but the opposing coach and team, their job is to win baseball games. And one way to help you win a baseball game is not pitching to Aaron Judge. Like, pretty much at any given time, even with 2 outs and the base is empty, like we saw Schneider do against him this series. I don't know, man. I think baseball wise, it makes sense. As a fan, of course it sucks, but I think eventually Boone's going to have a decision to make.
He is. Either guys behind him have to start producing. I mean, Austin Wells has been really, really good lately. However, the Yankees cleanup batters began Sunday, according to the New York Post, with the lowest batting average at 217, second lowest on-base percentage at 277, and third lowest slugging at 340. I believe that's since they started their downfall in June. I don't think that's for the year, but I could be wrong. Regardless, that's a point to be made here, because if the guys behind him are not going to get it done, as Pete Walker said, you're going to see this. Pete Walker's the pitching coach for the Jays. He said you're going to see it more and more. He's on such a roll right now that it's going to become commonplace. So the choice is walk Aaron Judge or watch him hit one of those moonshots that's going to go 477 feet. And it's going to suck because he does have a chance to get to 60 homers again. And maybe even go past 62 if he really gets homer hot over the last 2 months. But Yankees, that's why it's a team sport, dude. Got to go get, you have to do. Now, my question to you is this. If you knew that, if you were Austin Wells or Giancarlo Stanton or whomever is hitting behind Judge moving forward, and you know exactly what the game plan is of the other team, doesn't that get in your head a little bit?
No, I mean, it's Aaron Judge. So, like, if they're walking some, like, scrub in front of you, you're like, oh, okay, that's a little disrespectful. But you understand that, hey, look, no one's on the same level as Aaron Judge. Maybe there's 1 or 2 other hitters on the planet that can even say that right now. Maybe nobody can say that. So I don't think it's not disrespectful. You just understand it's part of the game. It fires you up. You get a little extra juice because of it, but I don't think you feel disrespected. Not if it's Aaron Judge.
Well, I'm talking not about the disrespect. I'm talking about knowing that you have to raise your game. There, to me, there's a difference. Like, who cares what the other team wants to do?
Oh, I think it's I think it's great. I mean, you get the hit with runners in scoring position or a runner on base almost every single time. I think that helps. Get the pitcher in a stretch, all these different things. Like, I would be happy about it if I was the guy behind him. I wouldn't really stress about it. I think it just would put me in a good spot. Obviously, there is an added layer of pressure, but again, like, I think that the benefits outweigh that.
I gave you the crappy numbers for the cleanup hitters. Austin Wells, since batting cleanup, he's got nearly 60 plate appearances, so it's not a huge sample size, but it's great. 347 batting average, 944 OPS. He's been tearing it up. We'll see if that continues for him. And it better, or you're going to see a lot of walks for Aaron Judge, which isn't a ton of fun. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy shots help you feel alert and energized. So if you don't have a buddy like Shota Imanaga to bring you a coffee every day, just have him bring you one of these 5 Hour Energy shots, because it's packed with vitamins and nutrients and about as much caffeine as the leading premium coffee. Your regular strength shot, that equals an 8-ounce cup of coffee. Extra strength, 12 ounces of coffee. Here's the nice thing. It contains 0 sugar. I know that that's a big bother and a big bugaboo for those of you that are trying to watch your diet. Now, you can drink it in seconds, you'll feel it in minutes, and it lasts for hours. It's available in a wide range of great flavors across regular strength and extra strength. 5 Hour Energy shots, they're portable, they're convenient, they go with you for that feeling of energy whenever you're a little down in the dumps and need it. So head on over to www.5hourenergy.com and you use the code JOHNBOY, you're going to save 20% on your first order. That is www.5hourenergy, all one word, .com, code word JOHNBOY, save 20% today. Not everybody can be as energized as the 2 of us every day. So if you need a little help, that's okay. Go get it, courtesy of our friends at 5 Hour Energy. All right, we go down to the Lone Star State where the Boston Red Sox ended up taking a series. And the biggest story down there was Wilyer Abreu, who's really had a fantastic year for the Red Sox in the outfield. Yesterday, he hit not 1 but 2 homers, including 1 against a lefty, and Alex Cora decided to leave him in there, and he ended up going deep. after a home run, he became very emotional in the dugout. Like he was wiping away tears, and his teammates didn't know what was going on. So they went over to him and they found out that Abreu's grandmother, with whom he was very close, had passed away the day before. And he didn't want to, in his words, bother the team with it and share it. And I just think real quickly, as you see Jason Varitek, one of the coaches, come over and the rest of his teammates give him a big hug. Like this is real life here, right? This is much more than a game.
Yeah, I mean, these are times where you really get to, I mean, it humanizes the guys on the field, because a lot of times we just think about them as ball players and what have you done for my team, and what did you do in the box score tonight? But you have to remember, like, everyone's going through stuff, same as anybody else, and for him to be able to get in the right mindset and go perform the way he did after a loss like that is, I mean, it's obviously very sad, but it's also uplifting to be able to do that and kind of say that's for you or whatever it is. And I talked about this on Talking Baseball a little bit, how we've seen this throughout the last 5-6 years. D Gordon homering for after Jose Fernandez passed, the Angels throwing the combined no in the first game back in Anaheim after Tyler Skaggs passed. Like there's a little bit of extra, motivation or something when things like that happen. And sometimes you can really harness it and make great things happen.
Yeah, it really was a touching moment, though, to see all of his teammates come over there and comfort him in the middle of a game. As for the games we do play, the Rangers are going to welcome in the Houston Astros as the series starts tonight. The champs begin the evening 5.5 back of Seattle in the division. Houston's in second place. They not only lost a series, I'm talking about the Rangers here, they also lost Max Scherzer. He is back on the injured list. He's got a little bit of a bad shoulder. So we were both kind of on the train of the Rangers should be sellers at the deadline. That did not happen. Then they got close, and now they've kind of pulled back a little bit. So Scherzer's gone. DeGrom is coming back. Molly's going to start Tuesday, we believe, against the Astros. What's your confidence level in the champs moving forward?
It's not great, Chris, and obviously anything can happen. You got these 3 games here, so as Aaron Boone likes to say, it's right in front of us. Like, you can go and win these games, but they really haven't shown the ability to do that. You mentioned Scherzer going out. They trade Lorenzen, so now their depth is being really tested for their starting pitchers. Some bullpen games haven't gone their way. The staff has been really bad. I believe over the last 9 games, they have an ERA over 10. Like, it's just, it hasn't gone well for them. The hitting really hasn't been there all year. I'm looking at their, overall rankings right now, 20th in OBP, they're 13th in starting pitcher whip, 24th in relief pitcher whip. So they just really haven't done anything particularly well. And again, now they're, 6 games under 500. Like, my confidence level is pretty low in the Rangers. And I wish it wasn't that way, but they really just haven't shown that ability, except for right before the trade deadline, running off that win streak. Other than that, it just hasn't been a great season for them. And unlike the Diamondbacks, they just really haven't been able to get over the hump and get over that hangover, I guess.
Well, the good news is Josh Young just came back about a week ago or so, and he is a spark. Like, their winning percentage when he's in the lineup is significantly better than when he is not. And I think he went deep yesterday, so that's a good sign for them. If you had told me that the offense would be the question mark in the 2024 season, I just wouldn't have believed you at the beginning of the year, but it has been. Sub 700 OPS, that is bottom 10. They are bottom half in the league in home runs. They're among the worst in stolen bases, so it's not like they're going to manufacture runs that way and use their legs to go steal a few. So it's really up to this offense, which is pretty much the same as the one that kissed the commissioner's trophy a year ago. Like, you've got a few weeks to really turn it on, because if you start losing series to teams like Houston, you could be 7 or 8 back before you know it. Yes. And then you're really pressing with 7 weeks to go. Not to say it can't be done, but really they feel like a distant third out of those 3 teams fighting it out for the American League West at this point.
And now we're learning that Evan Carter's not going to be back either this year, and it's just the injuries have been there for sure. We know that, but every single team goes through that. They just haven't been able to get over that.
That is my fault, because guess who picked him to be the American League Rookie of the Year? So you can put
Chris.
it is. You can put that in the Alek Manoah for Cy Young basket that Rose nailed. And the Blue Jays Braves World Series this year. Do I even watch baseball? What's going on here?
The Braves are like close to being out of the playoffs.
It's crazy, I know.
They're a game and a half, I think, from like being completely out.
They lost the series at home to Miami.
Split.
To Miami? Oh, it was a 4-gamer. You're right.
Yeah.
It was a 4-game. Still. Yeah. Wow. Okay. This is from Because We Must file. The White Sox are the 7th team to lose at least 20 games in a row. They were swept by your mighty Twins over the weekend. That's like one of those SEC teams booking their homecoming game against, a Division II squad. What are we doing? You guys must play the White Sox 30 times this year.
I believe they've only lost one game to the White Sox all year.
It's over, though. You don't have them anymore.
They took care of business against them. Okay,
That's
they
true.
did. Royce Lewis hit a homer to the right side. That's
okay.
big.
That
means
enough.
He's about to go off. Sorry.
It's enough. My question about the White Sox is, should we stop talking about them for the rest of the season unless Pedro Grifol loses his job?
Probably. They're 60 games under 500, Chris. They're 27 and 87, right? So I think once they win a game and this record or this could be record stops, I think that's when we should stop talking about them. We kind of have to talk about them as they continue to lose games as they approach the Major League Baseball record for consecutive losses. I think you kind of have to talk about them. But just a quick mention, and then if Grifol gets fired, I don't know, man. It's an absolute disaster there. It really is. It's a shame, dude. It really is a shame. But that's their reality right now. Is they're going through one of the worst seasons in the history of baseball.
So the 88 Orioles started out 0-21. I mean, I remember I was a senior in high school that year, and it was crazy. We were like, how is this happening? Could you imagine starting the year for nearly a month without a victory? And they had like future Hall of Famers on that team. Eddie Murray was on that squad. Cal Ripken Jr. was on that squad, and they lost every game for more than 3 weeks. The 1960s Phillies, they lost 23 in a row. This year's version of the White Sox, God, I hate piling on, but while we're here, they are on pace to finish with 124 losses, which would be the most losses in a single season since my mighty 1899 Cleveland Spiders.
It's tough, Chris.
By the way, I hate talking about guys' jobs, particularly when we're not in the clubhouse and we don't know. We hear, we had the report from 670 The Score in Chicago. You believe it or not believe it, but that was reported. That's why we talked about it.
What's the report?
We had it. Remember last week that Grifol tried to get his guys going by saying that people remember you to be the worst team ever.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that those are reports. We mention them. You can decide whether you believe a report or not. I guess my question is that they are so lacking talent right now.
Yeah.
Particularly on days where Crochet doesn't pitch. That how much of this blame really can go to, I know he's not a good manager. But what's he supposed to do? Every combination he's tried out of the bullpen has blown up.
No, at this point, it's the roster construction is very poor. You traded away some of your best players. By the way, Eloy, I think 5 for 9 since going over to the Orioles.
Jeez.
There's not much they can do, Chris, and it's been pointed out quite a bit. I think our guy Jay Kuda, who's like one of the weirdest / interesting follows on X, he had a tweet that said like a 2-run lead for the White Sox after the 7th inning is basically like a 3-run lead for the other team, and just they blow games. They can't hold the lead. It's bad, man. It's tough.
It's horrible. It's horrible. As I told you, I say it once a week, I think, at least. The only good thing about it is watching the White Sox postgame show. I cannot believe, and maybe they know that it's so entertaining. That's the only thing that fans have to look forward to these days. But when Chuck Garfien and Ozzie Guillen, and they're joined by a third member, whether it's Gordon Beckham or Scott Podsednik or Frank Thomas or whomever, and they crush the team. And Dude, Ozzy yesterday was like, how bad a manager am I because they picked Pedro Grifol ahead of me?
Yeah, I remember. I saw that clip.
Dude, there's some funny stuff going on. Hang in there, Southsiders. By the way, what is Shriffin's call going to be like when they do finally snap this losing streak? Stand up, Southsiders. Stand up. What's it going to be?
I'm not going to be watching, so I don't know.
You'll find the clip.
Definitely will not be watching.
All right. You're burning calories all the time. You are on the go. It is early August. You're getting the kids to and from camp. You want to take care of your own self. You want to exercise. You want to play golf. You want to go. I don't care what it is you want to do. You need to be fueled up. And that's why you want to sign up for Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for the rest of the summer, thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals. They are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So simple. Stick your fork in there, puncture a few holes, set the microwave for 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I do that because I'm kind of strange. And voila. No matter how busy you are, you always have time to enjoy your nutritious, great tasting meals. 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons to choose from. Every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. So from the minute you wake up, you want a breakfast from Factor, they'll take care of you. You want a nighttime dessert, they will take care of you, and everything in between. I love it for the middle of the day. I've told you a ton. Like it's 1:30 in the afternoon. It's time for my lunch. I look in the fridge. If I got my Factor meals, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed, and I'm taken care of all the way until dinner. If it's a time where I don't have my Factor meals, I got a problem. Then I'm snacking the rest of the day. I'm eating something out of the pantry I shouldn't be doing. So Factors can hook you up. Head on over to factormeals.com/today50. Use that code today50. You're going to get half off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That is the code today50 at factormeals.com. 50% off your first box, 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Speaking of active, some active players there in Southern California this past weekend. Ben Joyce of the Angels closed out their win by throwing nearly 105 miles per hour, and he was rejoicing, if you will. But was that a bigger deal than Shohei swiping 3 bags in a game against the Oakland A's and thus becoming the third fastest to register a 30-30 season?
I'm going to talk about Shohei a little bit. I talked about Ben Joyce a lot on Talking Baseball, and he is. I think he's coming. Okay, people.
He is.
Shohei is. I don't really know how to talk about Shohei or Aaron Judge anymore, just because they're just by far the 2 best players in baseball right now, and the things that Shohei is doing this year, without pitching. Basically like putting himself as the front runner for MVP, 30-30. It's wild. I don't think people understand how difficult it is to go 30-30. Like it used to be a very prestigious thing. And I don't really know what happened to that. In my eyes, I think it still is kind of like the pinnacle of what you can achieve, on a baseball field. The power speed combination is nuts. And I think people forget about Shohei's speed a lot because he's this big dude who throws hard and strikes everybody out and he hits homers, but like he's one of the fastest players in baseball as well. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough. So I think I'm more in on that. The 30-30 season is just unreal. And what's to say he's not going to go 40-40, Chris? I mean, I think it's probably going to happen.
44. Wow. Well, he's already at 33 homers, so yeah, I think it is going to happen, and so he'll join some big-time names in that.
How many 40-40 guys do we have?
We had Bonds,
7?
Canseco, Soriano, A-Rod. All those guys have done it. Yeah, I'm sure if there was just some sort of mechanical device that if we typed it in could.
I'm doing it right now.
Get it out quickly.
There is Acuna did it last year.
Okay, yeah, he sure did.
So what's the list? It's 5 guys.
That's it.
Canseco, Bonds, Rodriguez, Soriano, Acuna.
It's funny. I've just forgot Ronald Acuna. Shame on me. Ben Joyce, good for him. He cuts down on those walks. He is going to own the world in that role. That's the thing. And he's done it. He's done a really, really nice job over the last, month or so of cutting that down. It is fun to watch. Like that one looked different. Sometimes there's guys who throw Like Emmanuel Clase throws 100 or 101, and for some reason, guys hit it. They don't hit it far, but they hit it. But then you see a ball come out of his hand at 104.7. You're like, Jesus, what did that sound like?
Yeah, his fastball, his four-seam fastball averages 102 miles an hour. He started throwing a sinker a lot this year at 97. That's been,
Nice.
a really big pitch for him. And I don't think he's given up a run since June 14th, I believe. So
I had his numbers up here.
he's
Hey,
crushing it.
we were asking, I guess, real quickly, who's second in the MVP conversation behind Shohei right now?
I think it's like Starling Marte is up there for
You mean
discussion.
Ketel Marte?
Yeah, Starling
Yeah.
Marte. Jeez.
That's
Ketel
like-
Marte,
we all do.
yeah.
I did it earlier.
I think that he's
Probably.
right there. And then I'm trying to think of who else.
Marcelo Zuna.
Marcelo Zuna?
I mean, his numbers are really good, but I mean, he's got a mid-nines OPS. It's like 950 or 960, but it's dwarfed by Shohei and Shohei's legs. Ketel Marte, because there's not a guy like it. What Harper was very much in the conversation.
He's struggled a lot lately. Francisco Lindor, but those numbers aren't the same.
They're just not comparable.
No,
they're just not. Boy, Shohei's going to win it in both leagues and have 3 in his pocket.
And this year he didn't even pitch.
It's incredible.
I think this year will define his legacy maybe more than any other year, because you can say, oh, well, he's just doing both, so people like it, even though he's been dominant at both.
Right.
But to be able to win the MVP as strictly as a hitter and strictly as a DH.
Yeah, you're right.
Just never been done before. He just does things that nobody else can do.
Hey, Danny, do we have a question of the week that I need to promote? Is who does that for us this week? Oh, it is 5-hour energy. Great. 5-hour energy question of the week. Get that in by Thursday night so we could do it for Friday's show. Please do that. You guys have been hot. I think we took a little bit of a week off, maybe. Grab a breather, but start putting it in there. It's on our social media channels. We're ready. We got 2 months to go in the baseball season. Let's dive in.
It's go time.
It is go time. It is go time. At the end of the week, you and I have an interesting series, 4-gamer between the Twins and Guardians.
It's huge.
It is.
Carlos Correa, let's go. Carlos Correa, please, please, please.
Yeah. Do I want to do what, Dan? Oh, yeah. Kevin Gausman. Yeah, let's do that. We forgot about this one. What'd you think about this?
What happened? Because I saw that he got ejected. What caused it? I obviously know that Laz Diaz is in the middle of it. And
yeah, the best part of it was that it happened during God Bless America. So, there you see both guys removing their hats. Gausman giving it to him one more time and saying, you're terrible. That was horrible. All that sort of stuff. And you get thrown. Didn't Jim Leland have one of those where he was arguing with the ump? He'd come out in the middle of the field and they stopped for God Bless America and then they kind of resumed.
I remember that. I remember that.
That's
How about
pretty
Jim
good.
Leland? The only game the Tigers won against your Guardians? Who were they playing? Who were the Tigers playing?
They were playing Kansas City.
Kansas City, that's right.
Yeah.
The only game they won, it was an extra innings after he said, why don't you go win a fucking game?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they honored him, for getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. They put his name up there on the brick wall out there, which is great. Yeah. But that's a way. Although he wasn't smoking any heaters when he said it, so it was a little disappointing.
You don't know that. Do you think he's just nicotine patched up to the max when he's doing these things right now?
Yeah. It's like when we used to stick those little rub-on tattoos all over our body when we were 8. He's stuck with those patches all over the place. Whew. All right. Fun-filled show all over the place today, but that's okay. It's a Monday. We are back at it again on Tuesday for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our amazing intern, Tommy Young. That is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by 5-Hour Energy.